Well, good morning. Had some problems getting on here this morning. I was also very busy this morning, but that's neither here nor there. But it took a while to get on. The internet's messing with me again, as usual. So, anyhow, I figured out what's going on. Trump wants to start the Crusades all over again. He's making this about Christian, that God sent him to do this. This is all about the Crusades, and now he's getting Europe involved in it. And I'll tell you what, the Crusades were basically a draw. Nobody really won back then. There were some big defeats, but there were some concessions made. But basically, nothing really changed. So nothing's going to change this time either. But Trump wants to be the conqueror. Trump wants to be a conqueror. He doesn't want to be uh, a winner. He wants to be a conqueror. There's a difference, you know. Winners have certain responsibilities. He doesn't want any of that responsibilities. He's just going to go in and be a prick, you know, and that's going to be it, you know. But God help us all, folks. So, what else is happening in the world of sex, violence, and rock and roll? Well, while you're no, you can't do that. I can't do that. I can't leave because this is live. Should have brought my other computer in. I was listening to. I've never heard this version of the song before. I've heard the song many, many times. War, it's called, and I heard Bruce Springsteen do it, and that's the closest to the authentic version of it I've heard ever. And this was several years ago that he did this. So, I mean, that's a song that, you know, the basic lines in this song are war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. That's the main line in the song. And it's true. You know, uh, this is another situation where the Republicans have gotten us into a war over there with the threat of attacks on the United States, and there's no evidence to prove it, that they don't have the weapon that they're talking about. They weren't even close to doing it. It's just excuses. They want that part of the world for some reason. And you know, you've got a very quiet, very powerful country over there called Saudi Arabia. Uh, they don't get involved in this. They started stand around and collect money. So I find that actually it's a nice place to be. You know, you just sit around do nothing. You don't get anybody shot, killed. Uh, you know, but if I was going to go after a country, I would have gone after Saudi Arabia. But they're afraid of this. Saudi Arabia's supposedly got all its oil fields mined, and if you attack us, we'll blow up all the oil. Well, that was all right. They paid for, and most of the hijackers on 9/11 came from Saudi Arabia, and they financed Bin Laden because Bin Laden was related to the royal family at that time before they disowned him. And I tell this story, and I'll tell it again and again and again until somebody actually believes it. The only plane flying at the end of the day on 9/11 was a jet taking a Saudi prince and his family back to Saudi Arabia. So you don't think the Bush family and rest of the Republicans have some sort of fantastic deal going with Saudi Arabia? Their pilots all come over here and they go to the Air Force Academy to learn how to uh, combat fly, and they go to I think they go to the Top Gun Navy School too. It's a very strange situation, you know. Yet nobody attacks them again because they don't want to see the fire that'll start because there's so many oil wells and oil production over there that it wouldn't be a good thing. But it's going to happen one of these days because that's where you push people to, you know. You push people until you can't push them any further, and then they react. You know, the Afghans are at it again with Pakistan now. Yeah, yeah, the drone expertise, Ukraine over in the Gulf. That's just, you know, uh, Putin looks at what's going on in the uh, Arab part of the world as a distraction, which allows him to do what he wants to do in Ukraine. Um, but you have, he's running out of soldiers. And from what I understand now, South Korea is going to start sending weapons to Ukraine. So you know we're on the verge of World War III, and Trump doesn't care. Trump's going to go down in history as the losingest president ever. But he thinks he's going to win all this stuff, you know. Not with Hegseth in charge of his military. He's not. Hegseth is going to get a lot of Americans killed soon, and that's going to really, really start some trouble. So, Jimbo, what's going on this morning, huh? Anybody else out there? Or nah, all right. It's okay. I can live with that, you know. I spent the morning talking to a young man, very, very good man, well educated. And I run into a lot of these guys. They work from home. They're quite successful in what they do, you know. And hey, you know, you need to do it sometime or another. You need to talk to professionals, you know. I have a problem when I talk to him. I get so involved and I want to talk about so much when I go outside and I finally meet and I'm talking to a live human being that I get more scatterbrained than I do. That's why I call this website of mine a little bit of this and a little bit of that because I'm scatterbrained at times because I'm so desperate to have a you know, to talk and to say what I have to say. You know, I'm better when I write a lot of stuff down, but I didn't have a chance to write anything down this morning because just the way things fell into place. You know. Uh, my wife's going away this weekend, maybe. I hope so. I could use the vacation. Everybody says, "Well, you don't do anything." No, I'm just stressed out, though. That's all. You know, my age showed last night. I was up every 2 hours peeing. Yeah, that's getting old sucks. Well, Jim, let's face it. If you want to be cheered up, that you're in the wrong website, dude. You know, when you talk about world affairs, there's nothing really joyous going on in the world. You know, and that's going to create a problem because people are making bad decisions, and it's your, you know, we're gonna suffer for that. You know, all of us, not just the U.S. Everybody, because people are making wrong decisions. You know, uh, I I know I'm having trouble with a lot of stuff this morning. Let me see if I can do something here. I don't know why this is happening. That better? Is that better? Let's go to here, here. Okay. Seems like it's working now. A little bit better, a little bit louder volume. But anyhow, you know, being correct is something I don't want to be anymore. You know, Jim, but thank you. Uh, I'd rather be wrong about a lot of stuff I say. And it's interpretations, you know. But I'm looking at it now, and I'm going, you know, I'm looking at Trump, and I'm looking at the situation in the Middle East, and I am seeing this I am seeing this similarity to the Crusades, what little I know about them and whatnot, and that didn't end real on a happy note, but now other countries are getting involved, and they're getting involved because Iran's making the mistake of attacking certain areas of the world that are vulnerable and are used by other countries. So, you know, they're more or less getting involved for self defense. But I'm an old guy, and I just really, 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 really don't like the situation. But what can you do? Things are going to go the way they're going to go, and there's nothing I can do about it except tell you what I think. You know. Oh, what's going on? Let's see. We have the World Cup is coming up. I don't know how that's going to play out with the situation. We have baseball World Series is going on. The International World Series is playing right now. Nobody cares. Uh, the two footballs, American and European footballs, are taking over the sporting world. That and tennis. But golf is coming along. Golf will take some of the TV, time up. But it's basically baseball is what they call the national pastime is now like the third-rated sport. I think they're even behind basketball now. Basketball is I don't like basketball the way it is now. I like the old way. A lot of defense was played, a lot of ball handling, a lot of dribbling, a lot of attacking the basket. This three-point shot does it might make for an entertaining for some people, but for me, and it gives players what it does. It appears to give players of limited ability a chance, and it gives older players longevity. Because shooting doesn't is the last thing that goes for you. Usually, it's usually the real stuff. The vision and everything and defense that goes first because you can't see what you're doing. As you get older. And what else is going on in the world? We had that. A lot of primaries mostly don't mean anything really. It looks like Texas Republicans are going to have to spend a lot of money to keep the seat they're after. But it's just that stuff goes back to the old days. Hey, my family voted for this guy. He must be okay. My father and my mother were Democrats. I'm going to be a Democrat. My mother was a Republican. I'll be a Republican because I don't like my. Uh, it used to be that you did the opposite of what your parents wanted because you were trying to be different, and it doesn't work that way anymore. You're trying to be the same. You want to grow up and be fat, old, bald, sitting in a lounge chair, smoking a cigar and drinking bourbon and calling it tea. I don't know, folks. The older I get, the less I see an outstanding future, and that worries me. I have grandkids. I think every parent with grandchildren out there right now should be scared shitless about what this country's turning into. You know, and I don't see it coming around to any rational normalization so long as the Republican Party's in charge. They are now they're calling themselves it's Christian nationalism. The Bible in every school. You have to memorize the Bible and all that. I went to Catholic school, kids. That was no fun. That's the no fun school. Trust me. Learning is a painful experience in Catholic schools. But Trump doesn't care. Trump didn't learn anything in school, so he doesn't care. He doesn't care about schools. He doesn't see them as Why, thank you. Being old is the only achievement worth having. Well, depends how you age, you know. Of course, what happens at times, some people just forget everything, you know, and you say, that's bliss. Well, depends how you look at it. You know, it can be, depending on if your family's a bunch of shit, then it's bliss. If your family's a great family and you love the people you're around, then it's not. You know, if you have grandkids and you forget your grandkids, that's not bliss, people. Okay, so it's not a blessing. But at least you get the grandchildren when you get old, you know. If you get them when you're 5, if you get them when you're 18, there's a serious problem in your family someplace. But that's, you know, I like the age I am, I guess, because any other age would mean I'd have to go through all this shit all over again, or it would be coming up, and I don't want to see it coming up. You know, this is the end of the world as I know it, and I'm sorry for that. I really am. I don't see escapism. I don't see a lot of happy endings. There are possibilities that still exist for everything to straighten itself out, but it's going to be costly and it's not going to be fun. You know, I mean, I grew up when everything was so exciting and everything was so brand new, and now we're just going backwards. Historically, we're going backwards. We're going back. I don't know where you want to go back to, you know, but you're going backwards. Uh, you know, United States was uh, people came to the New World to for religious freedom, and now we're not really. Now they just want Christianity. You know, Muslims aren't bad people. Their leaders are bad. They're the same problem that you get with these cult leaders and whatnot that interpret the Bible a specific way, and you can do that. You know, you could take words and manipulate them to say anything and mean anything, and that's what happens. You know, and that's when the Bible starts to become a weapon, and people start to weaponize the Bible. That's what they did with the Quran. The Muslims have weaponized their Quran. Uh, I know it's not the Islam is not a horrible religion. It's not made up of killers and bigots and everything else. It's people's interpretation. You know, look at the guy in Waco. I forgot his name, but we're the group of people that all died when the FBI raided the place. They were Christians. You know, they took the Bible and weaponized it. You know, you don't. If you're a Christian, you're not building an arsenal, and you don't have an arsenal of automatic weapons in your basement. What, to defend yourself against what? If you're not doing anything wrong, if you're following the laws of the laws of where you're living and everything like that, and you're not kidnapping people, you know, you want to protect yourself. Fine. You know, develop a police force or something. There's nothing wrong with that. Keep the good ones coming, Jim. I like them. Uh, but that's, you know, a different type of problem. It's Christianity has had a lot of wars fought for it, you know, going back to the Crusades, which was what this seems similar to in some ways, you know. But Trump's not going to be satisfied till he destroys the world. Oh, and Trump as leader would be the biggest mistake the world has ever made at any level, because he's way out there, folks. All right, listen up. I gotta go have lunch. I gotta go do something else. Whatever. You guys have a great day. Uh, I'm gonna do another video. I don't know if I'll do it right away or later on. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, thank you, Jim. And but I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully a little earlier. We'll see what happens. Oh, there it is. And you guys all take care. Ciao.